Hello, Buddhas! Today we are going to talk about some of my favorite affirmations, the most pretentious stuff you have ever heard, because it works. Now, Buddhas, before we get started, I've got to let you know that I've got links down in the doodly-doo where you can get in touch with me, work with me, and where you can binge watch the Buddha Billionaire playlist to help accelerate your spiritual awakening. Now, what do I mean by pretentious affirmations that always work? Well, today's video is going to be very quick because the affirmations that I have been using unintentionally through my entire life, and now I'm finally starting to understand the ramification and I'm finally starting to really appreciate how awesome they are these two. I'm always right, and I always win. Now, Buddhas, before you start yelling in the comment section in all caps, I'm not trying to say that I never make mistakes. And I'm not trying to say that I never have defeats or failures or losses or time spent figuring out. But by having an underlying confidence in myself, saying that I'm always right, and I always win, by instilling these into my brain subconsciously, they have slowly been building an incredible amount of confidence. And that is really what it comes down to. At the end of the day, it's our faith in whatever you want to put that faith in. God, or some other version of God, or the universe, or yourself, or it's all really the same thing ultimately, but whatever you call it, Buddhas, that faith, that confidence is David and Goliath. Now, yes, this is a biblical story, but I would be willing to bet real hardcore cash that most of you have heard of the story of David and Goliath. Cole's Notes, really big, bad, giant guy comes to a little town settlement thingy. It's all a parable anyways. And he's like, I'm attacking you and we will have a fight to see who wins. And they're all scared, completely shitless of this guy. And they're like, oh my god, we can't fight him. And this one guy's like, hey, my name's David. I'll go fight him, it's fine. And I don't want a sword and I don't want armor or any of that stuff because it would totally slow me down. And spoiler alert, David wins. And no, this is not some actual physical battle between a really tall guy and a really short guy and then the short guy kills the tall guy. No, that's not what it's about. But the faith that David has in himself, in God, again, in whatever, that confidence is what slays Goliath. And this is so important, especially right now in the world and what's going on and all the silly that's happening everywhere with all these people that have absolutely no faith in even themselves, let's be honest. They're just scared shitless, and I don't blame them because they weren't taught how to actually think for themselves, but guess what, Buddhas? You're here so you understand that that is important and you're working on it, and that's 99% of the battle, is to have that faith. And whatever you have that faith in, that's fine, and that's why these affirmations are cheat codes. These are literally cheat codes. God mode, right, from video games. Anyone else remember that? A lot of fun. Well, I always win, and I'm always right. So good. Now, I'm not saying to go about your life with that attitude and to just argue with everyone and say, no, I'm always right. Whatever your argument is completely invalid. No, that's not what we're getting at here. This is not about being an a-hole to the people that you're interacting with on a daily basis. But internally, approaching a task, approaching a challenge, approaching a physical activity, approaching a work activity, approaching your life, approaching making a YouTube video here, if I go in with the attitude that the content that I have is right and the approach that I have is gonna win, I've done 99% of the work and then I just have to let the actual words flow out. So, Buddhas, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time on this. Rewatch it if you want to get that real affirmation goodness, because I am always right. I always win. And because you and I are one. those are also true about you. And remember, Buddha's at the end of the day, the absolutely most important thing, the single most important thing, is to love yourself. And cats. Cats are important too, don't forget the cats.